Conceive, believe, achieve.
This is former UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael Bisping.
Paddy the Baddy here. You're listening to Combat Sports UK.
And you're watching Combat Sports UK.
I'm Cooper Burke here for Combat Sports UK with Kyle the Monster Nelson. Kyle, how are you?
Doing great. Right in the middle of training camp, getting ready for March 30th. And weight's good, training's good, so can't complain.
Yeah, Kyle, you fight on March 30th against Bill Algeo. What are you looking forward to the most in this fight?
Yeah, I think it's going to be another interesting, stand-up war. I think, I've fought some guys. My last opponent was similar to Bill. I fought Jai Herbert, a little while ago, who was another tall striker. So, I've definitely, prepared for, Bill's style a few different times. Now, Bill's, a little bit more almost like a karate or taekwondo style. So it's going to be a little bit different, but definitely looking forward to the challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually just gonna ask you how your game plan is going to change with his style's a little bit different, especially because he's got such great cardio.
Yeah. So, and again, his striking style is a little bit different, but with that, it just opens up new holes that if he's watching any of my old tape, he's not going to see some of the stuff that I'm going to use that's going to work well against him. So it's again, he's a little bit different, but very similar. So I've already faced opponents like this and done really well against them. So I think we'll probably see something similar in March 30th. Again, like you said, he's got good cardio, but I'm not sure if that's going to come into play in this one.
Yeah. What was the biggest lesson you learned from your last two fights against Fernando Padilla and Blake Builder? You were able to string two in a row there.
Yeah, just being confident in my preparation now. In some of my earlier fights at 145, with weight cuts and different stuff didn't really go well, and then I couldn't rely on like my body once I got into the second or third round. With my fight against Billy Quarantillo, again the first round I was able to showcase all my skills, compete at kind of my average pace, which I do all day every day at training. But then just with the how the weight cut played out, by the time I got to that second round, my body just started shutting down. So after something like that, you're a little bit weary if it's going to happen again. But in my last four fights, all four of them have gone the distance, and I haven't gassed. If anything, I've gotten better each fight. So now I know, with the new weight cut we have, I can go those 3 rounds hard if I need to, and I can keep, the same skills and techniques that I need to win fights.
Yeah. Has that been kind of a learning curve, changing into your new weight cut, or has it just been immediate? You jump into it, no transition period at all, just hit the ground running.
Yeah, it's been pretty smooth. With everything with mixed martial arts, you're always adjusting and tweaking little things. And I've been, fighting long enough now that we've got a pretty good system built up. And again, just took really a couple little tweaks that made a big difference. But I've had my fiance has been in my corner in my last few fights now. She's with me, for the whole training camp, help me with my food and my nutrition and stuff. And that definitely goes a long way in making the weight cuts easier.
Yeah. What is it like having your fiance in your corner? A lot of guys, have their coaches. But you said, she's helping you with nutrition, so she's, pulling double duty there. How has that been?
Yeah, it's been great. When I first had her in my corner, I wasn't sure about it. Just like mixing, I don't know, like work with family life or something like that. I wasn't sure if it would throw me off mentally or anything, but no, it's been great. I've always been pretty strong mentally and stuff, and I'm able to kind of turn that stuff off. But then having Claudia there for my weight cut and my refuel and all that stuff helps a ton. And then and then just having her in in the corner. We spend all day, every day together as it is. So it just, it feels comfortable now for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you looking forward to fighting outside of the Apex in Atlantic City?
Yeah, definitely. The Apex was cool when it first kind of came in. But now it sounds like even kind of the fans are not super excited about Apex fights and stuff anything anymore. I definitely prefer the crowd, even though I'm generally always the away guy. I still, prefer having the crowd there while I fight as opposed to the Apex. Again, like I said, the Apex was cool. Like the first time I fought there it was cool because it was so quiet and you can hear your coaches and it's very similar to training. But there's definitely something different about having the crowd there and getting some of the energy from the crowd.
Yeah, you are the away guy here, but you'll be up in New Jersey, which is, fairly close. Do you expect there's going to be a little bit bigger contingent of Canadians there at your fight?
I'm not sure. I would hope so. Yeah, I think like I'm here in Stony Creek right now, and I think it's like a 9 hour drive or something. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure, if some Canadians want to, break it up or you could do the whole drive in one night and then just spend a couple of days. But, yeah, it's one of the closest fights to Canada that you're going to get that's not actually in Canada.
Yeah. Uh, so you fought some very, very solid competition. Duho Choi, Billy Quarantillo, Francisco Padilla, um, Jai Herbert. I mean, those are all fantastic names. How does it feel to you knowing that you're among some of the best in the world as your weight class?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like it was meant to be. Like this was the goal and the plan all along to get in the UFC. And then again, it was a bit of a rocky start, but kind of once I found my footing, I feel like now I'm starting to showcase again more of what I'm capable of. And every fight, I'm able to showcase even more of my skill set and stuff. So I'm continually getting better every time. And as that happens, I'm gonna now. I mean, I just beat Fernando Padilla and um, Blake Builder, both kind of new to the UFC. Blake was undefeated. Fernando was on a big tear and a big up and comer. So I kind of took those guys out. So now I'm again climbing up the ranks a little bit with Bill Algeo. And after this one, I look forward to climbing even more.
Yeah. How has your gym? I want to say are you still at House of Champions?
Yeah.
Okay. How has House of Champions prepared you and made you better?
I mean, it's great. Like I grew up in Muskoka. I trained at a place called Muskoka Kickboxing, so it was more jujitsu, a little bit of kickboxing, and I trained there for a very long time. I did all my amateur fights and my first couple pro fights out of there. But being in Muskoka, we just didn't have the train like any professional training partners and stuff like that. So I started coming down here to House of Champions, and then again we've got other UFC fighters, we've had Bellator fighters, a little bit of everyone. So now I get the training partners that I need to again build. Like I can build my skill set, just with me and my coach, but to actually put it into action, you need solid training partners, and that's what I'm able to get down here at House Champions.
Yeah. Do you think they pushed you kind of beyond your limits?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you want to, try and plan that out, especially in a training camp, like what days you want to be pushed super hard and what days you want to, work your technique and stuff. But yeah, there's definitely some days where, you're pushed and you're wondering if you can even get up after practice, you're just so exhausted. But, we'll keep doing it and then keep getting better and getting better shape and skills are coming together even more. So we're doing the right thing.
Yeah. I mean, sounds like it. What's the biggest thing you've learned from House of Champions?
So, like my coach, Alain Halmagine, he comes from more of a Muay Thai background, I mean, he's been in the MMA world and stuff for like 20 something years now, and cornered a lot of UFC fighters. So, but I mean, just the way he's taken his kind of Muay Thai base and altered it for MMA, I feel like has worked really well. So my striking has gotten a lot better for MMA. And then just like the community, like he's able to bring in, high level wrestling coach and Adrian Woolley, and we worked with a bunch of like jiu-jitsu guys. So yeah, I mean, just the way he's able to put together the training camp and bring in all the little pieces that we need for each fight, I think is one of the best attributes of the gym.
Yeah, absolutely. So you said he's been working on Muay Thai a lot. Has your comfort level changed at all, or have you um, comfort level with Muay Thai changed at all, or did you just kind of come into this um, like looking to sharpen it a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, like I'm always looking to sharpen everything. But again, coming from a smaller town, a smaller gym, it was everything was pretty rough. My jiu-jitsu was pretty good, but as far as striking and MMA and mixing it all, it was pretty rough. So yeah, definitely since I've been here, my Muay Thai and striking in general has gotten a lot better.
Does that give you a sense of confidence knowing that you have another tool in your arsenal?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every fight starts standing, and I feel like for the most part, there isn't too many guys in the UFC that I can't stand with. So, having that confidence, then I can decide whether or not I want to take them down and wrestle or utilize my jiu-jitsu, or if I just want to keep it standing and start to pick them apart on the feet.
For sure. So it's early in the year. You'll be fighting in March. What do you think 2024 is going to look like for you?
I hope it's busy. Fight in March, get a good win, and I'd like to turn around and fight again this summer, and try and get 3 or 4 fights this year.
Yeah. Um, is there anywhere in particular that you would want to fight this year?
I'd like to fight in Canada again. Not sure if you ask my fiance, she'd like for me to fight in like Ireland and Spain and lots of cool places like that, so we can do a little vacation afterwards. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to fight in Canada. And then other than that, yeah, it'd be cool to maybe travel to somewhere I haven't been yet. Somewhere, yeah, either like in Ireland or something like that, or somewhere in Europe that we haven't been. Would be pretty cool.
Yeah, you said you like to fight in Canada, fighting close to home. Do you think that gives you an advantage, knowing that the crowd is behind you?
Yeah, I think so. Like again, you can kind of feed off the energy from the hometown crowd, and it's different because when I'm an away fighter and I don't have the crowd behind me, then you just kind of turn it off because you don't want to pay attention to any of that kind of negative energy. But yeah, when you're the hometown guy and everybody's cheering for you and stuff like that, yeah, I definitely think it helps.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think that's all the questions I have. Kyle, thank you so much for your time. I've really enjoyed it. Everybody, Kyle Nelson fights Bill Algeo on March 30th at UFC Atlantic City. Kyle, best of luck. We'll all be rooting for you. Thanks again for your time.
Awesome, thank you.